We're back from our 7-night sailing on Carnival's newest ship, Mardi Gras, and we have a lot to discuss. But before we get into all that, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, and if you're feeling chatty, please leave a comment.
Also, if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to do so and tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of our new videos.
Now, a little backstory. This was our first cruise together, and actually Ben's very first cruise. So we booked this sailing to not only get Ben's feet wet, pun intended, but we were also celebrating Ben's birthday while on board. This definitely triggered my OCD to make sure everything was as close to perfect as possible, which was a really great lesson learned because no matter how much you stress and obsess about every little detail, some things are just out of your control.
Like the weather. We cruised Mardi Gras late January into February, and we knew this was obviously going to be cold outside until we got closer to the Caribbean, but the Florida weather of 50 degrees seemed to be following us the majority of the way.
Yeah.
We had about 3 out of the 7 nights that were actually comfortable to be outside. The other 4 days were painfully cold, especially at night.
This was such a mood killer because we couldn't use any of that cool stuff that was outdoors. The hot tubs were the only enjoyable thing outside, but as you can imagine, they were all extremely packed.
Since this is the first time we've sailed at this time of the year, we don't know if it's always like this, but it's definitely something you need to consider when you're booking your itinerary. Now, one thing you can control is where you stay on the ship.
I probably changed our room about, 5 times because, again, OCD.
He changed it about 7 times, and he changed the ship.
He's right, but I just wanted to make sure that I picked the right room for us.
We landed on Ocean Suite 9295. This room is located forward on the starboard side of the ship on deck 9. Honestly, Kendall's obsession for the perfect room paid off because we loved this suite, and the location couldn't have been better. It was close to the stairs, which made it easier to get to places like the gym, theater, casino,
and most importantly, the Havana bar, just 1 floor down. The only thing I was worried about when booking this room was the balcony because it's not covered, but we actually ended up really liking this. Privacy wasn't as big of an issue as I thought it would be, and we got a really gorgeous view of the night sky with plenty of sunlight during the day.
The separate living area was a great spot to relax and watch movies, and we have plenty of space to spread out. There was also lots of storage to keep the room nice and organized.
Which I love.
Our stateroom attendant, Liberato, went above and beyond to make sure every need was met, including supplying us with about 28 hangers for our clothes, and he even left us a little bag of cookies one night, which was really nice. We definitely recommend booking this suite.
Yeah. Now, day 2 was Ben's birthday, so I had booked us a 90-minute couples massage at Cloud9 Spa. This was the worst decision I made. And I'm going to say it again, just in case you weren't paying attention. Booking the 90-minute couples massage at Cloud9 Spa was the worst decision I made on our sailing. Starting with the price. We ended up paying $711. Yes, you heard that right. $711.
We originally laughed at the starting price point, which was $520 on Carnival's website, and decided to scrap the idea altogether.
But after I did a little bit more research online, I decided to book it because I was under the impression that this price was high because it included the gratuities to your massage therapist, the VIP suite treatment room, and access to the thermal suites. It did not. All of these things were additional charges.
The VIP suite is an upgraded treatment room that costs $75 and includes a private 2-person jetted spa tub, large shower, and a bathroom. This upgrade was not worth the money because you only get to enjoy these amenities for 30 minutes before your treatment, and that was not enough time to settle in and relax at all. We also received an unexpected bill at the end of our treatment for gratuities, along with a pushy won't take no for an answer sales pitch, which was really annoying and really undid all the stress relief work that they just did during the massage.
Yeah, we were very unhappy with how this whole experience turned out. For this price, that service should have been elevated to the moon, and we should have been allowed to use the thermal suites. I was so mad at myself for taking a chance on this because all I could think about is how that $711 could have been put towards another trip, and I just kept kicking myself for days. So needless to say, we won't be booking any more services at Cloud9 Spa.
After the spa fiasco, we were ready to be at our first port the next day. We were originally scheduled to be in San Juan, but they changed it last minute to Nassau, and we didn't have time to book an excursion. We had never been to Nassau or any of the Bahama Islands, so we were really excited to be here.
I'd seen a few vlogs where people just walked over to Junkanoo Beach from the cruise port, so we just decided to do that, which maybe took about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We really just wanted to get into the water and enjoy a nice beach day. Unfortunately, the weather was not as good as it looks in these pictures and videos. It was like 60 degrees with a heavy chill in the air. And honestly, I didn't care because I was determined I was going to get into that water.
I, on the other hand, wasn't getting into the cold water. So I just laid out and enjoyed the sun. We rented 2 beach chairs from one of the beach attendants for $20, which was a really good deal and much cheaper than doing a resort day pass. There's access to bathrooms, and the beach attendants provide drink and food service right to your chair. We didn't order anything because we brought our own water from the ship, but the woman next to us had a really hard time eating her food because she was literally being attacked by seagulls the entire time.
Yeah. Since Nassau is a stop on a lot of Eastern Caribbean itineraries, I'm sure we'll be back here pretty soon, and we'll definitely be coming back to this beach.
Our next port was Amber Cove in the Dominican Republic.
This was our first time here, and oh my god, this place was so gorgeous.
It really was.
Yeah, just pulling in to the port that morning was breathtaking. With all the jungled covered mountains, I had honestly never seen anything like that before.
We booked the waterfalls of Demajagua Adrenaline Adventure through Carnival, and this was the only excursion that did not get canceled on our entire sailing. You meet up with the crew at the cruise port, then take a 30-minute air-conditioned bus ride over to the park, gear up, and start your 45-minute hike up the mountain. They give you a bottle of water, and the crew will stop for rest breaks throughout the hike. However, you need to know your limits, because if you're not used to hiking, you might not be able to do this. We had multiple people on our excursion had to turn around and couldn't even do it.
Yeah.
The trip up was beautiful, however.
We didn't take our cameras because they warn you of the risk of losing it, and I just really got paranoid. So we left them in the locker they provided us. They have a cameraman that comes along for the experience, and you can buy a USB stick with all the videos and photos at the end. Looking back, though, I really wish that we would at least taken one camera so we could have gotten some more footage.
Yeah.
We just have to figure out a good way to keep it secure.
After you reach the top, you start by either jumping off a cliff or climbing down a ladder to the water. We chose to jump.
We've never jumped from that high before, so the way down was crazy, but the water was even crazier.
It was freezing, which you think would be refreshing after a sweaty hike, but it was way too intense. I was shivering the entire time.
Yeah. After the jump, you float through the canyon, and we made our way to the first water slide. You slide down one by one, and you just repeat that same process for about 5 more times.
On the last slide, you can either jump or slide. Since this cliff was higher than the first one, we decided to slide. I do regret not jumping because I think it would have been a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to try it next time we do this excursion.
I really just like the slides. Most of them just dropped off pretty high up from where the water was below, so it's like you got a slide and an involuntary jump all in one. All of this took about 45 minutes to get through, and I was shocked when we started walking back. Demajagua has 27 waterfalls, and silly me, I thought we were going to do all of them this day. But to accomplish that, you have to hike even further up that mountain, and there's not enough time to do all of that during your port stop. In the future, I would really like for us to go back here and just stay for a few days so we can actually do all 27 waterfalls.
The last port that we had on our itinerary was Grand Turk, and just like the other ports, this was our first time here. We had a catamaran snorkel plan, but the excursion was canceled due to high winds.
The great thing about this port is that there's beach access right off the port pier with free chairs, so if your excursion gets canceled, you can just go and enjoy the beach. This is also nice if you like to bounce back and forth from the ship and the beach without making a commitment to buy or rent anything.
We intended to spend the whole time down at the beach, but after about an hour, we packed up and went back to the ship. This was due to the high winds. Trying to stand in this water was extremely difficult because the wind was blowing so hard. You have to dig your feet into the sand to get some traction, or else it'll just blow you right down the beach.
Yeah. Normally, since this water is crystal clear, you should be able to see most things swimming around you, but the wind was causing all of these ripples on top of the water, which made it really hard to see through. So, since we had planned on snorkeling at this port, I was determined I was going to get some underwater footage, so I just started waving the GoPro around under the water in hopes to catch something. I thought we maybe got a shot of like a fish or two, and we were really shocked when we watched this video back later that night because we saw there was a lot more happening around us that we could not see from up top.
Hopefully next time we come, it'll be a lot less windy.
Now, while the destinations are important when cruising, so is the food and drink journey to get there, and this is one of the biggest reasons why we chose Carnival Mardi Gras.
There's about 35 different options for eating and drinking, and it feels like even more when you're on board.
Yeah.
We were very close to trying them all, but it was really hard.
Yeah, I'd say most of the places that we did get to try were really good. Some were much better than others, but in a nutshell, you could really tell that the passion was there and that they were really trying to deliver something fresh and exciting. And I think that we both appreciated that after we looked back at the sailing once we got home. In the moment, however, it was a completely different story.
Our biggest issue was the inconsistency with service. We'd have dinner one night with the highest level of attentiveness, and then the next night we'd practically be ignored. For example, we ate at Shebang twice on this sailing so we could try the Mexican and Chinese sides of the menu separately. We had the same servers for both visits. The first night we had amazing food and great service. On the second trip, we had horrible food and horrible service.
Yeah, throughout the second trip, every time our server came to the table to ask how everything was going, I said terrible, and she replied with an okay and just walked off. Never asked me why it was terrible or if she can get me something else, just okay. And this happened 3 times.
We were also told that the tequila we wanted was only available on the Lido deck, and we both knew this wasn't true because we had seen this tequila at almost every bar on the ship, including the Havana bar, which is right across the hall. We were also never offered refills on our cocktails.
Speaking of refills, at Bonsai Sushi, we never received a refill after our food came out. Our server would just drop our food off and disappear. And this happened to us twice on this sailing. We also had an issue at Rudy's Sea Grill when our server asked if we wanted still or sparkling water.
I ordered still water, but received sparkling. The next time the server came to the table, I asked for still water, and they acted like I was crazy. It took me asking 2 other servers before they finally brought it to me.
The whole acting like we were crazy for asking for the most simplest thing carried over to the bar service as well. I asked the bartender at the Havana bar for a tequila on the rocks with lime juice. He told us that he didn't have lime juice, that they only have lime juice at the Blue Iguana Tequila bar on the Lido deck because they have a machine to juice the limes. First of all, there's not a Blue Iguana Tequila bar on this ship, and second, you don't need a machine to juice limes. Just squeeze them into my glass, which is what I ended up doing. I just got a separate glass of limes and squeezed them myself. I get that some of this might sound really nitpicky, but we expected a higher level of service, especially for the price that we paid.
Since this trip, Carnival has released a statement regarding an issue of being understaffed due to the pandemic, and this might explain why some of the service was hit or miss.
To us, it just felt like a lot of the staff was trying to get used to a ship of this size, and they just hadn't really found their rhythm quite yet. Hopefully this has already improved since our sailing.
For a more detailed look into our restaurant and bar experience, make sure to check out our Carnival Mardi Gras food and drink review video.
In between all the restaurants, bars, ports, and enjoying our suite, Mardi Gras had a lot of things to do in our downtime. Since our room was forward on Deck 9, we'd often use Deck 8 to travel around the ship. That always put us right in the middle of all the action happening in the Grand Central Atrium area.
The atrium was really cool because you got an awesome view of the ocean during the day, and at night it would turn into a stage for multiple kinds of performances. Here we saw a magic act, the Love in Vegas show, and the talented Jonathan Timpanelli. Jonathan was by far the best of all 3. His singing voice was amazing. He interacted very well with the crowd. He also did some celebrity voice impressions that were spot on.
The magic act was okay, but nothing special, and the Love in Vegas show was just which I hate to say because all of those performers nailed it and they did a really great job, but that storyline just wasn't entertaining to us.
We also caught 3 comedy shows throughout our sailing, once in the Punchline Comedy Club and twice in the theater. All of the comedians were hilarious. Shout out to DJ Cooch, Jim Brick, Spike Davis, and our host Sin.
Our only complaint is that they should have made the Punchliner venue much bigger because some of the lines to get in there were just ridiculous and we probably missed some pretty good material. Thankfully though, we did get to catch the late shows in the theater, but unlike the Punchliner venue, the theater does not offer drink service, so just make sure you grab a drink from one of the bars before you go in there.
Other than the comedy shows, one of our favorite things to do late night was catching the live music from Washboard Joe at the Brass Magnolia Bar. This band was amazing. They really knew how to entertain, and we only wish they played longer than 30 minutes. Occasionally, if you tip enough, they'd do an encore, but again, still not long enough.
Yeah, their set would be over right as we were starting to sink into our comfy chairs and start filling our drinks. And honestly, we both could have just hung out here for hours.
Yeah, it was great.
Their shows would end somewhere around midnight, and after that, we would be left with not much left to do on this ship. The only places to hang out and drink after midnight were the nightclub or the casino, and we never went to the club, but we did spend a lot of time and money in that casino.
I didn't expect us to visit the casino this
No.
much, but it was a really good time.
Yeah, we're not really big on table games or slots, so we mostly played this Dancing Queen game where you just drop an obscene amount of quarters into the machine, and I think they call it like a coin pusher type, and I honestly was just completely hooked.
I also like the claw machine where you try to pick up the stacks of cash, and the keymaster machine, which you try to line the key up perfectly. I never won, obviously, but it was still pretty fun.
We won a few times on the Dancing Queen and once on a scratch-off ticket, but I know we didn't come anywhere close to
No.
breaking even. Overall, this trip was an amazing experience. Even with the lows, we learned so much, and we met some really great people and had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, 100%. And we both agree that there will definitely be another Mardi Gras selling in our future.
And maybe we'll even see one of you there.
Till next time, thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.